Hello, welcome to day 14 of JavaScript Funct-on-ions. Thank you for joining me again as we continue to look inside of the JavaScript function, the most important aspect of JavaScript in my mind. We have taken a look at different personalities of the JavaScript function, and I want to take a look at another one that is starting to become more understandable to me in that the what do I want to call it, the personality of a JavaScript that's called a decorator. And I've been introduced to decorators with work with the with Angular, and I've really wanted to understand what a decorator is and how it's useful, and I've come to find out that the usefulness it has a great impact as being almost like helpers, in that it will take a function, and then inside of that function it will have a function that does work, and then returns that value to the function, so that then whenever that is applied and it's called, then it will actually go ahead and take that value that was returned to the decorator. I hope that makes sense, but let me try to do some code here and see if I can explain myself a little bit better. I want to work with one that I could just pass around a timer function. And so what I want to do is just be able to set it up to where I can just set a timeout and pass in to the decorator a function and then the time. Pretty simple one, but it's a good starting point. So let's just go ahead and create a timer. It's just going to console log whatever it is that that's going to be logged at that particular time. So let's go ahead and let's call it a delay decorator. And so it's going to the parameters are going to be a function and then the time. So when the time is in milliseconds, let's do another decorator. So we have a parameter, argument of a function that we're going to pass in and the time. And then so 1000 milliseconds high from 1000, and then from 2000 high from 2000. So now in order to get this to work, we're going to, so the arguments we're passing in is a function and then a time. So with our decorator here is that we know that totally off, sorry, we're passing in the timer. Is that the placeholder params is going to be a function and a time. Now here is where we have to do the manipulation and play around like it's putty when we were children. And so what we have to do is we have to be able to return a function, and we're just going to gather any of these params into args. I like to, yeah, let's just stay with args. So now, in order to be able to get that timer to work, is that obviously we have to set a timeout. And then what the timeout is that we're going to have the function is going to apply this args and the time. So let's check this out. So not much is going on here. So we got callback must be a function. So here we're actually passing in the function, and then we're applying this, and then so anytime that we return that value and hand it off to 1,000 milliseconds, is that then we're going to apply this function to it. And so we're going to be passing in the high from 1,000, and that's going to happen after 1 second, and then 2,000 milliseconds is going to high from 2,000 at 2 seconds. The only problem is that we know with the timeout is that it's expecting it to be a function, and right now this is not a function. So now if we there we go. Didn't kind of happen a little too fast for you. Let's do this. Oh, don't have to change that. Let's change our timer here to 2 and 5. So if we watch the output here, high from 1,000, high from 2,000. So what we've done here is that we've taken this function and created it as a decorator, meaning that inside of that function we're going to return a function that is then going to just do some manipulation. It's going to, you know, do whatever it has to do, but it's so we're actually returning a wrapper function that is wrapping any of the logic that is going to be returned to that decorator. So, you know, to me it's kind of like currying, because in the fact that, you know, like with currying, is that it doesn't, you don't necessarily know what the values are at that current time. So this is something to where I'm still trying to comprehend the difference between currying and a delay in a decorator. And but again, it's just, you know, the point is that with a decorator is that you can pretty much, to me, a decorator is like a one-off utility function, in that, you know, you can actually take this decorator and pass it around everywhere you want to, where you need it. So that's pretty much what I have gathered so far, and just from a perspective of seeing this in a bird's eye view from ES6. Is it, sorry. Let's just go ahead and get some of this wrapped up. I just want to continue to push ourselves, trying to get a better idea of this, making this ES6 looking. So there's high from 1000 and high from 2000. So there we have it. So there's pretty much the idea with the decorator is from what I'm gathering is just with the decorator is that you take in the arguments of a function that you need, and then whatever the arguments are, and then when you pass that in to the parameters, you're going to pass in the function and then the arguments, and then you get a return function out of that that is then going to do any of the logic that you need to pass back to the function, and so it's going to act as a wrapper function that then when you actually assign that value to an identifier, that then that identifier can be called with the values um, based upon that decorator. Might not be completely, I still think I have some work to do on understanding decorators more, but I think there's some more, and one that I want to take a look at is something like doing a delay. Well, we did a delay, but like a debounce. That's probably a good one. So I'm just going to take a look at some more, but I wanted to take a look at this first one, seeing a function being used as a decorator. So thank you, and appreciate the time. And next time I'm going to take a look and see working with the bounce, and want to take a couple days just to work with decorators.